Hi and welcome to another video from www.gameclubtabletop.co.uk. This is Duncan, and today we're going to be looking at a new game coming into the store, which is Wild West Exodus. Now, it's been out for a little while, but we've just managed to get some sets in to be selling on the Game Club store. We're looking at two different boxes today, the Wayward 8 Posse set and the Confederate Rebellion starter set. Now, the big difference between the starter sets and the Posse sets is, with the starter set you're going to get a rules and gubbins box as well, bundled together. The packaging is really nice, it's really crisp. It shows you which faction you get in, but as you can see, so here we go. So within this box, nicely packaged, we've got the rules and gubbins and the Posse set for the Confederate Rebellion. So we're going to start by looking at the rules and gubbins, which again, really nicely packaged product. A lot of boxes for me to unbox. So there we go, finally in. Again, really nice, makes you feel like you're getting a genuinely premium product when you're purchasing off Warcradles. This is by Warcradles Studios, and all their stuff is really good. Excellent miniatures and good rule systems coming out of them at the minute, just making their games really interesting. So inside the rules and gubbins set, you're going to get 4 D10 dice, so 10-sided dice, with the critical success showing us the Wild West Exodus symbol. And if I can find one, oh, there we go. The Ace of Spades is a critical failure, so if you roll that, no more re-rolls, and your character's in a world of hurt, so to speak. You're going to get a pack of cards, which are crucial to playing the game, which I'm not going to be able to get out of this box now. So there's 2 types of cards in the game: action cards and adventure cards. So the adventure cards are bigger, like this, and they can be utilised in 2 ways. So glory lets you score victory points and helps you to win the game. So if you can achieve on this one, destroy a hands unit in a shoot action this turn and score +1 victory point when you do so. You can score them instantly as soon as you do it. You play the card and it scores you the point. On this one, you can reveal this card to gain the following for this activation, which I think is just a +1 activation, but obviously the symbols will be explained in the rule books. So they're the adventure cards. It gives you a way of scoring more points, but it also gives you a way of carrying out more actions or gaining more action points. And here we have the action deck, which is essentially just how many points you get to spend on your characters. The small numbers in the corner, I'm focusing on one, this one's a 1. You use that to determine initiative, so you both turn the card over, highest number gets to go first. And then you use this many points. Points don't equal actions. You can spend multiple points on one action, but you need at least a point to do an action. So you can focus most actions. What else do we get? We get the rule book, which I'll come back to shortly. You get a template for both, for sort of like blast weapons and for things like flamethrowers and stuff. So you utilize it in different ways depending on what weapon you're using. But again, nice see-through acrylic. And you're going to get some tokens and a ruler. Obviously, game works in inches like most war games, and you've got the various tokens that do things. So you can go on lookout, there's disordered, you can hunker down to try and gain more cover. You've got stunned if you're stunned, and hazards obviously as well. So that's all there. Speaking of the rule book, it looks a very weighty volume for a skirmish game, but actually speaking, the rules are at the front of the book. And there's about 50 pages. So once you hit this section here, that's the end of the rules at page 52. And then you've got the rest of the book is all about the world and talks to you about the different factions and things like that, the fluff, as it were, of the game itself. So that's a really nice thing, that already there's a lot of background and stories going on as to how, you know, what's happening in this world. So the game itself is set within Warcradles dystopian kind of world, dystopian wars universe. So it ties in with other stories there. So that's the rules and gubbins. Nice little package, everything you need. It can be split down, so 2 people can start playing, But the key with that is there's 1 5 AP card in the deck. So whoever gets that in their hand has that as a distinct advantage. But that's kind of, you know, that could be fun too, to kind of risk. So let's get inside the Confederate Rebellion posse set. These are just 2 that I picked. So I'll do some, once I paint it up, hopefully we'll get some sort of little playthroughs done. You get a card. Now this is the one thing I'm not super keen on. So on the back it's going to tell you how to get to the assembly guides. So you can scan the code below, or you can go to the website. Just googling Wild West Exodus assembly guides will get you through to it as well, and that'll take you to a PDF. So within this box set we're talking about, this is a Confederate. You're going to get your bases. Now there's different size bases. You can just see there's a smaller one and a bigger one. On the cards, which we'll come to in a minute, it will tell you if I can get in. With 2 hands. Right. It will tell you in here on the unit cards which size base they need. So let's just pick one at random. Here we go. We've got Stonewall Jackson. There's loads of information on here. It tells you all the different weapons. It tells you all the different stats, which might look confusing but really simple. Which I'll come back to in a minute. So here you look. 1 times small base. So Stonewall's going on a small base. As if I can find him. There is a Confederate Terminator, who is a pretty mean looking so-and-so. And he goes on a medium base. So there you go. And we want a 3 in a unit. Just having a quick look at this. This wheel here, done like a revolver chamber, has 6 stats. So if we start top middle, Q4 is quickness 4. So big unit, slow movement. M4 is their mind, which is used in certain tests. There is magic and unusualness in Wild West Exodus. A5 is aim 5. So that's how well they shoot. G7 is grit 7, so that's how much defense you've got. F4 is hand-to-hand fighting, and L2 is the limit, so they can carry out 2 actions as standard. That doesn't mean they spend 2 action points, that's just 2 actions. In this game, all tests are passed on 10 or more. So, for example, if you wanted to shoot someone, assuming there was no modifiers, you would need to roll a 5 on the D10. 5 on your D10 plus 5 on your aim is 10. So 5 plus would be a success. If there was terrain or obstructions between you, or if your opponent hunkered down, then you get negatives, and that would go up. You can focus your actions as well, which adds +2 to the roll if you like. So in this case, you would go up to an attack 7, aim 7, sorry. So you would only need 3s to hit. And likewise, defense on this, you can see he's got a lot of armor on him. So, assuming there was no minuses to a shot, then you know, he's going to defend on 3s. So if you get him into a good position with a bit of cover, he's going to be hard to move off. So there's lots of information on here, and on the back, any special rules that might apply to them. And like again, it shows you the weapons that they've got. So not great in hand to hand because of those big gatlings on him. Also in here, you've got a card which shows you very quickly how to put together a posse. So you've got basic posses, which can be used for anything within the Outlaws. And you'll also get the Confederate Rebellion theme posse, which pretty much will just let you put this box out on the table as a posse. Pretty easy to sort out. So you can sort of be more creative and create your own. You can also just take bosses from the same faction. So you could have, you know, you could take Stonewall from this one. You could take I can't think of his name. Oh, he's something Marcus Wayward, is it? Marcus Wayward from the other one, and just start putting together bosses. So let's have a look at the minis. Here we've got 2 attack dogs. So these are in plastic by the feel of them. You see the parts laid out nicely there. There's some really good details. There are some head options for the one. So you can either give him a drill mouth or sort of other attack options. So these are sort of support units and things like that. So it's quite interesting. The rest of the set is resin. Sorry, these bags are a little bit sticky, so excuse me. Trying to get in here. So this is the Terminator. This is resin, so you can see really nice sculpt. So loads of detail on there. One of his gun arms, the chain belts are going to link in his backpack. And with this guy, it's really nice because obviously you can take these in multiple units. So if you want a bit of a different look, we got 3 really nice head options. So a more classic kind of Civil War look, or going more steampunk or more futuristic on there as well. And there's the other arm. So that's really nice, really nice. And then in the other one, it's going to be really difficult to get in here. Unfortunately, some of the parts have come off the sprues. You've got some of the other characters. Come on. Oh, there we go. We've got Stonewall Jackson there, and 2 of the gun arms are going to be fitted. And we got some of the other characters. Ooh. Here again, great detail. And then the last face of the unit. There we go, of the posse, sorry. And again, these are really detailed sculpts. They're really nice. You can see there's loads of detail. And then the arms and stuff, legs have mainly come off. But I have checked, it's all there, it's all good. So just pack that up there. The other thing that you're going to get in the posse sets is these. So we've got an Outlaws faction mounts card. Some of the characters can take sort of bikes or mechanical horses and stuff. And you've got the faction armory. So certain units will be allowed to upgrade their guns for a points cost. And this is a list of the guns that you can take. And then you've got a quick little reference card for what the different tokens mean. So really straightforward. Like I say, most of the tests are going to be, can I get to 10? But there is freedom, even though it's a simple system for how you go about building your posses in a sense. There is a lot of freedom within that as to how you might do it. So, not to dwell too long on this one. So, I'm not going to doing a video. It's the same again. Nice outer cover, nice looking boxes, and we're in. This one's a bit more straightforward. So we've got the bases, again different sizes for different models. We've got the cards, and in this case we've got hard plastic minis. So there's quite a lot of parts to these, obviously more parts than we had on the other. Now the interesting thing about this, and I'll just quickly flick through the cards, is, because you can't really tell much from those dismembered bodies in there, is it may look a little bit familiar. Now I don't want to suggest to anyone that this is inspired too heavily by anything, but if you're a fan of Firefly, I think you'll soon see. So we've got Marcus Wayward is the boss, and then we've got Sierra Icarus, who's kind of a little bit like somebody else. We got Jake Mattia, who's a gun-toting mercenary type who has a woolly hat. Seems vaguely familiar. We've got Zerelda Kincaid and her husband, how's he gone? Hicks Kincaid, who looks a bit piloty. And then we've got a Doctor, Sun Totem, and Flowing River. He's a kind of melee specialist, I think. And then we've got K3, who's got a spanner there. Looks a bit mechanic-y. Seems very familiar. So yeah, if you're a fan of Firefly, this might be a great set to get, because you could, it's clearly inspired by, shall we say, the TV show. And again, you can have the theme posse, which essentially just lets you put this out on the table. Sorry. And again, you can go Outlaws, which would let you build this with some other things into a bigger posse. So if you're playing smaller points games, then this is going to be fine. But if you want to go bigger, just like the Confederates had attack dogs, you can get gun dogs, you can get various different hands to join your posse and fight on your side as you get into the bigger points games. So there you go, that's what they look like when they're built, which is... I didn't do that with the Confederates, did I? So I'll show you the Confederates as well. Sorry about that. So you can see them all built there, and they may look even more familiar in that kind of sense. You know, I mean, you've got Mal, Zoe, Honora, only Shepherd Book's missing, which is a shame, one of my favourite characters. Anyway, he may appear somewhere else. And then you've got the Confederates, and you can see here you've got the two very different heads on the, that shows you there the different sort of looks you can have on those attack dogs, and they look really cool. I've seen some painted up, and they're amazing. You can see the three different heads, how they might look, and that massive Terminator. And then the three faces there. So some really, really nice models. It looks like a fun game. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but the way the cards work and stuff's really interesting. So I'll try and get all this built, and then we'll put together a quick how to play. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget, you can pick these posse sets up on www.gameclubtabletop.co.uk. And I'll see you again. Bye.